And we are live. In our last session, which was actually a good couple of weeks ago now, the party wrapped up their affairs at the Lost Mine at Phandelver, now found and run by the Rock Seekers, heading to town to catch up with some old friends and make some new acquaintances. They eventually ran into Madrick Giles, the former and once again leader of the Red Brands. He told them a tale of how he had captured their missing wizard, self-proclaimed druid, locked him in the basement of the castle. But the wizard's new master, the Green Dragon Alcendris, appeared. Unable to enter the castle due to some sort of strange magical field, the dragon instead returned with chunks of wrecked buildings from the nearby Thunder Tree, dropping them on the castle and laying waste to it, killing Madrick and several others. He woke, as he always does, in Phandalin, in the crypt, the next morning. Found his way to a pub and some clothes, and the rest was drunken history. With Madrick and using a newly acquired piece of equipment taken from the recently deceased Black Spider, the party teleported to the wreckage of the castle, landing in the trees nearby, out of sight, hopefully. They saw an astonishing sight, a massive green dragon, a spined fin running down its back, thick armor plating covering its body almost everywhere, massive toothed maw, its huge front claws raking across the air, drawing sparks from a shimmering arcane field that covered the remains of the castle, roaring, bellowing at the top of its lungs in anger. And so that's where we begin today. As you all observe this scene that unfolds in front of you, what would you like to do?
Good plan, guys. Good plan.
Yeah.
Freaking knows.
No, everybody's being quiet. That's a good thing, so the dragon doesn't hear him.
Well, I think we had determined at the end of the session that we were going to just hunker down and stay quiet and see how long she intends to hang around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Why don't we start with everybody making a stealth check?
Oh. Oh no.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace on us.
How many people does that cover?
Let me see. I think it's just everybody in range.
Including the dragon.
The dragon suddenly disappears from sight. Hey guys, I think we're clear.
Each creature you choose within 30 feet.
Nice. So I will ask this, what do you guys want to do with Noro? Do we want to say he's with you, or do we want to say he stayed behind at the smithy in Phandalin? And if Hummer shows up late, I will find a way to get Noro here.
Well, saying that we've already started out with 2 successes, probably. It seems like it would be safe for him to be here.
I think he should be here.
Okay. Well, I've got his character sheet. Then I can, you know, for perfunctory rolls like this, I can make them. So we're all rolling with a +10.
Yes. Let me just find my stealth. God damn it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm on top of my natural 20, so 30, baby.
I'm used to looking at monster stat blocks, not character sheets. This is stealth. There it is.
Should be down to the bottom of your list of skills.
It should be exactly what I was afraid of.
Ooh.
We're fine.
Well, let's
Yeah,
just have
330s.
Yeah, so
What about Madrick?
a 30. You know, that's a good question. I think that I made Madrick before I started, and frankly, he's probably, I'm going to try and keep him out of combat. So I'm just going to roll a d20 for him. Let's just give him a d20. Beautiful.
I shouldn't have opened my fucking mouth.
So we get 30, 30, 30, 26, a 14, and a 13. That's beautiful.
Oh, did you roll at disadvantage?
Yes, because of my armor.
Right.
Rip.
So, Drunky McBumblesteps and Clanky Scale Pants over there.
Louis is just like tiptoeing along.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Wow. That's really that's a pain in the ass. I'm just realizing on the stat blocks on D&D Beyond for monsters, they do not list passive perception as one of their senses.
That's a good thing.
No, it just means I have to do the math. So passive perception of 22. The party beats the average. Madrick, upon seeing the dragon, starts to say something, and Noro just reaches up and clamps his hands around Madrick's head, his massive palm covering his mouth and muffling him. As you all hunch down in the bushes watching this scene, the dragon is a good 120 to 130 feet away from you, but it's nothing but tall grass between the tree line and the remains of the castle. Where you're at, you think you're safe enough. You think you're not seen yet. You watch the dragon finish its tantrum, huffing, puffing. Finally, it calms down. Its massive claws smoldering from the assault on the dome. It shakes its head violently. I know you're in there, Paramon. I can smell your unwashed reek from here. You'd be wise to return to me, my little pet, before you anger me further. There's a long silence as the dragon's words echo throughout the clearing. No answer. Eventually, tumbling stone breaks the silence as you realize the wreckage of what was once a possibly fairly majestic looking castle, fallen into disrepair in these past few decades, is now little more than just a pile of rubble. Stone upon stone tumbles down, and then silence again as dust drifts through the air from the settling rubble. The dragon shakes, its shoulders and wings rippling back and forth. Its wings flex out once. I'll be back again tomorrow. I can hear you in there. I'll find a way. Valdoon's field won't stop me forever. And at that, the wings beat downward, lifting the dragon's great frame into the air as it flaps once, twice, 3 times, lifting a good 30 feet off the ground. And with the powerful beat of its wings pushing it forward through the air, it rockets off north, leaving your view rather quickly. You sit and wait, hearing the beat of its wings disappear into the distance. And after a few minutes, the clearing is quiet.
What's Voldoon? Is that like a common thing, or?
You could make a history check.
I would more likely ask Louis. He's the book person. Does anyone know who Voldoon is? Or what Voldoon is?
I heard that. No, kidding. Just kidding.
Yeah, Lunalia just shakes her head.
Louis could make a history or arcana check. Scribble, you could make a history check.
Oof.
Mm-mm.
Double
Nope.
oof.
Doesn't ring a bell. Well, as you sit here in silence, waiting, listening, watching, time passes and you begin to think it might be safe enough to have a look around.
Rogar will start heading towards the broken down castle. Does it look like you said that there was like a dome or something that was keeping her out? Is it visible?
It was really only visible when the dragon was raking her claws across it. Sort of a shimmer, much like a force field around a ship on Star Trek. Only really visible when something comes into contact with it. You, I don't think have. You've been here a couple times, at least once. You've been inside this place. Passed right through this field if it existed at the time, and never even noticed it was there. Are the rest of you approaching as well, or?
Yeah, I think we should move fast.
Madrick draws a sword. Not one you recognize. There's a bit of tarnish on the blade. Looks like maybe something he nicked from somewhere. Looks around at the rest of you. I'm not fighting that thing.
None of us are. We're not stupid.
Good. Oh, maybe I can find a little bit of something in the ruins. I tied the old man up and threw him in the basement. If there's a way in, sounds like he's still alive from what she said. But I'm not going down there. He
Fair
starts
enough.
to follow Rogar out into the field. So, are you all approaching the ruins?
Yes, very carefully.
No, Scribble's running for it.
Really?
You said it's just tall grass between where we are and there, right?
Yeah. So as the rest of you move towards it, Scribble runs out ahead, bolting right for the ruins and possible cover. What's left of the castle isn't much. The east wing of the castle had already been torn down to two walls and a foundation. The west wing and center part of the castle were relatively intact, although the upper floor was somewhat wrecked in places. Now there is hardly anything more than foundation and piles of debris. Directly in the middle of the castle, lies the remains of a large cylindrical tower of a different design that lays on its side. Not much of it left, but just enough that you can kind of make out what it used to be, and it looks like, as Madrick said, you know, a chunk of another building that was brought and dropped on the castle. And it occurs to me-
Benalia is going to start looking for places where doors used to be, entrances used to be, to see if there's any way down.
All right. Go ahead and make a. Let's make an investigation check.
Uh-oh.
Did the map change?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I moved your token from the expedition over to the Wayriding Grove.
Okay, just making sure I'm.
Yeah, I realized I'd forgotten to move it in the last session.
I'm going to give myself guidance.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I making? Investigation.
You're gonna need it.
12.
With a 12, you think that you found, just based on the grounds around the castle and your times here before, you think you found the side of the castle where the barred entrance was, to the sort of depressed hallway that ran in front of the basement entrance. The wall that I think Scribble had found a hidden doorway in it. But you can't really make out in the remains of the building where that entrance might be. You find some twisted iron bars under a pile of stone that may have been that grate that Carlo the Halfling snuck through a while ago. But it's hard to find the entrance itself. Madrick, keeping an eye about, makes his way over to the sort of the tallest part of the ruin, a stand of stone wall that stands a good 15 feet tall, and begins climbing over piles of collapsed stone and timber, looking for maybe his sword or perhaps some treasure he had stashed away. Every once in a while he looks to the skies, stops, listens. He looks over at Lunalia and just says, "You're in the right place. It's around there somewhere if you can find it. If that room still stands. I'll keep a lookout. And if the bitch comes back, I'll try and yell before I hide, or die." Best
We
hurry.
appreciate it.
He grabs a large piece of timber and starts prying at some stonework. What are the rest of you doing?
Is the basement that he mentions, is that like the door that we went in?
Mm-hmm.
Like the little secret door? Or is that like where Gundren was kept in a barrel?
No, Gundren was kept in I think he was in the northwest tower, on the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
The basement is, it is what is behind that secret entrance that you found.
Okay.
I don't recall if you opened it or not.
I opened it and went in just a little bit, and then you said that it seemed like skeletons, and the girl told me there was danger there and to leave.
Right.
I will help you select some, and I will go over and help Lunalia investigate.
Oh,
looking for an entrance of some sort.
well, look at that. Our intrepid mage eventually finds, and Louis, it's more that you find some stonework that has inscription on it, just faint traces of magical sigils traced into the stonework. The wall itself is wrecked, but what is left of it seems to have been enchanted to perhaps hide an entrance. And that leads your gaze to a partially covered stairway that leads down. There is a fair amount of rubble over top of it. Some of it somewhat precarious looking, and it will take some effort to move it out of the way. Noro, upon seeing you sort of, picking at it, comes over and leans down, puts his hands on the stone, and just starts trying to push this massive stone column aside. If
Rogar
you
would
want to,
be helping.
why don't the three of you guys make a strength check?
Just a flat strength check.
Yeah. You know what? You could make a. Oh yeah. Friggin' Louis with his +7. Oh nope. Sorry, that's an
for
investigation roll. Louis, you gonna help out as well, or are you just gonna let Rogar and Noro muscle the stonework aside?
No, that's very unbecoming. It seems as though they're fine.
Alrighty. The two large members of the party work at it for a while, putting their backs into it, eventually moving a large stone column, sort of standing it partially upright and then dropping it the other direction. They managed to clear enough space that you think even the largest of you could, sort of crawling on hands and knees, get under the rest of the wreckage and down the stairs.
Can we stop and listen for a minute?
Absolutely. Make a perception check.
Why do I keep rolling potatoes? She's listening for anybody that sounds like they're hurt.
You listen for a while and nothing, although you do feel just a bit of a breeze on your face. Just once.
She's just gonna quietly say, Paramon, are you there?
No answer.
So there's a space big enough for us to crawl through?
Yeah, the original stairway was perhaps 10 feet wide. There's a space about 3 foot wide and 3.5 to 4 feet tall, where you can get down the stairs and underneath a large pile of like the stone archway that was originally the ceiling of this tunnel that led down, that's sort of fallen in. So there's a hole about 3 foot by 4 foot that you can crawl through. Some of you can crouch through it, some of you will have to crawl. And the space below is pitch black, lit only by the light filtering through the dusty opening.
Linelia's gonna shapeshift. So
Good job for your book.
She's gonna wild shape into a giant badger.
Okay. Can badgers dig through stone or just earth?
It doesn't say. It doesn't specify. It just says that they can burrow and they have dark vision.
Okay. I'd say for the purposes of this endeavor, you could help move a large amount of rubble, but any of the solid stone is going to be, it's going to take a lot of effort to try and, like, you badger claws, it doesn't matter how big they are, they're not going to get through like a 2-foot stone wall.
Okay, then she's gonna do spider.
Okay. Giant spider?
Yeah, even a giant spider is only a medium creature.
Yeah. So you guys see her now familiar spell as she morphs into this creepy looking spider that crawls down into the space. What is your marching order, and is everybody going?
Lunalia will go first in her spider form.
Are we bringing Noro down? It is a crypt.
He looks down the into the dark hole, and you can see there's a bit of apprehension on his face, and he kind of looks around and just says, I don't know, guys. Maybe I should stay out here and watch our backs.
You scared?
No, I just think that I should watch out for the dragon. I'll come if you yell.
Lunalia turns around and says, keep an eye on Madrick, and then realizes she's a spider.
He also, I imagine Noro would also have difficulty seeing in the dark without using his sword, so maybe it is a better idea for him to be out here.
This is a fine idea. Thank you, Noho.
He draws his sword and he stands basically right at the entrance there, standing guard. You hear Madrick off in the distance swearing. A bunch of a small avalanche of rubble and stone comes tumbling down. So, what's your order going into the depths below?
I will go first.
Okay.
I know that she can't really do this, but she's going to RP Web. It's going to leave Web behind her for the others to hold on to and follow.
Shitting out some web. Got it.
Yep.
Does the the darkness not like we can't see it with dark vision or the book?
No, it's just dark. Your dark vision works fine once you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, once you get underground, it's not a problem.
Do we want the two smaller guys and then me?
It's probably a good idea.
Okay, so Lunalia in front, Scribble and God, I want to call him Pierre, Louis. In the I work with a guy named Pierre, so it's the name comes to me easily. Scribble and Louis in the middle, and
yeah, because I'd have to
Rogar
crawl under.
Yeah. So as Rogar crawls in and blocking out the majority of the light, your eyes adjust to the space below you. At the bottom of the flight of stairs, maybe only 10 or 15 feet down, there's a rather large chamber, about 25 feet across. One side of it is collapsed, and you can see the ceiling has shifted under the weight of the wreckage above it. As you look around the space and your eyes adjust, you see small showers of dust and pebbles occasionally falling from cracks in the ceiling. The space, at a glance, is not entirely safe. But the ceiling seems to hold for the moment. You look about you, and there isn't much here. It definitely wasn't used as a cellar or a storeroom for anything recently. But in one corner, there is a loose pile of coils of rope. Someone has seemingly slipped their bonds. Rogar, refresh my memory. You have
Goggles.
Yep. And Louis, you have dark vision.
Oui, but Pierre, he is feeling very radiant today, and I'll cast light on him as well. So he's like the wagon. The wagon goes into the bag of holding, goes onto my belt, and then Pierre is kind of floating and hopping along behind me. And frustratingly enough to Rogar, as I walk right in front of him, I do not have to crouch down at all to walk through that tunnel that he is crawling through.
No, you do not.
Yeah, just on my stomach doing an army crawl under the under the fucking thing.
How does the wagon go in the bag of holding? Do you just like you kind of like open the bag up with the bottom of the lip on the ground and just kind of push the wagon in, or
I mean, this is kind of
Fold
how
it.
it worked in my head. I don't know if it actually works, but no. As I start to put it in, the mouth of the bag just like opens like a cartoon mouth, and it just like whoop, just all goes right back in,
nice?
and then
Alrighty. So as the light from Louis's somewhat sentient book radiates out to fill the space, you're able to see a lot more easily in here. If somebody would like to investigate the room, they certainly can to determine what they can see.
Pierre, you take that side. I will take this side.
Lunalia is going to close all of her spider eyes and just rely on her blind sense.
Okay. What's the range on the blind sense?
Blind sight is only 10 feet, so she'll move around while she's doing it.
Okay. So the spider slowly moves around the room, stopping here and there, listening, feeling, as Louis quietly pads around the room, looking in corners and inspecting the ropes. The ropes were, with that investigation check, the ropes were definitely slipped. It's hard to tell how tightly this person was tied up, but you know, the rope's not cut or frayed anywhere. There is a fair amount of dust that's rained down in this place. The floor is covered in dust and smaller pebbles. And Louis, you find traces of sort of shambling footsteps that lead off to the far end of the room and into a darkened hall. It looks like whoever was tied up here slipped their bonds and went further underground.
Is there any mouse prints?
Hard to tell.
Looking for a snack?
No.
My eyes, they are very old. I do not see something this small, no, but it does seem as though our friend Perrimont, he went this way. And I'll indicate towards the darkened hallway.
Lunalia will start moving in that direction.
Okay. You only get about 20 feet down the hallway before you find another an archway, and beyond the archway is a spiraling stair. Just inside it, as Pierre's light turns the corner and illuminates the space, you all see two skeletons, vines and roots curling up through them, rusted swords on the ground about them, perhaps once animated but no longer. It seems like they are somewhat held down by these roots and vines. An almost familiar spell, but maybe a slight variation to it. As you carefully begin to descend the stair, the light reveals some scorch marks along the wall. Louis, the shape of the impact tells you these are magic missiles that were fired some time ago. The stone is cool to the touch, but you recognize the very clear force impact from a trio of them.
Mon Dieu, it seems as though there was combat here, and I'll cast mage armor on myself.
Okay. There's a what does his the effect of his mage armor look like?
It's just kind of like it's you can't see it at all. It's just kind of like a little flashing sheen over him completely, but you can't otherwise tell.
Yeah, so there's just like a shimmer when he casts it, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, whenever I see him do that, I'm gonna cast on myself too.
Oh yeah, good idea. And I'm assuming that Rogar casts armor.
Shield. Just pulling out my shield.
Yep.
Well, Lunalia will just work her way up to the ceiling.
Okay. You reach the bottom of the winding stair. It's a good 6 feet across, and it winds around in a counterclockwise manner. As you reach a landing at the bottom, another archway lies ahead of you, and a short hall with a door at the end. The hall is 30 feet, and about 10 feet across. The ceiling is arched 15 feet above you. It is dark, save for the light from Pierre. What would you like to do?
Sorry, there's a dark archway at the top? Or are we going down?
No, you reach the bottom of the stair.
Mm-hmm.
There is a arched open doorway in front of you. Beyond it is a 30-foot long, 10-foot wide, 15-foot high hallway with arched ceiling.
Does it look like the footsteps go that way?
Make a perception or investigation check.
I will help as well.
The footsteps, there's not as much recent dust here, and it's a little hard to tell, but you did see them sort of a stirring in what dust there was on the stairs, but the footsteps kind of stop right at the archway leading into the hall. The floor in the hall looks untouched.
And there's no other way to go other than just straight ahead?
Just straight ahead.
Pierre, would you mind if you clipped yourself a little ways down there? And he'll kind of, flutter and bounce his way down the hallway and just see, with the light radiating from him, see if we can see anything down this hallway that looks suspicious or interesting at all.
All right. Are you following along behind him slowly, or are you just watching him sort of drift off into the distance?
No, I'm not going to go any further than where the footprints stopped.
Oh, come on. He is incorporeal, right? Like he doesn't actually touch anything?
Right. Yeah, correct.
Okay. As the floating glowing book drifts into the hallway, you see the sphere of light that radiates out from him illuminate the ceiling and the walls around. You don't see anything out of the ordinary other than Lunalia, maybe it's perhaps your recent affinity to because of being transformed into a spider. You're looking more closely at the walls about you and what lies on them, but there are occasional, cobwebs in this place along the ceilings and in corners. In this hall, there are no cobwebs at all, where you would expect to see them in corners, hanging from the ceiling, that sort of thing. It's a little too clean. There is a slight layer of dust on the floor.
Is there anything up on the ceiling in this hallway?
No, it is just a smooth, arched stone ceiling. The stonework is of fine construction, fitted very closely together. No cracks or crevices in the stonework, per se. It's quite smooth.
She's going to climb up the side of the wall until she reaches the peak of the arch. And then she's just going to put her front 2 legs through the arch up towards the ceiling. So that her front 2 legs move into the hall, like she's about to come in and go along the ceiling of the hallway.
You do that, and you don't feel anything or notice anything. It seems to be safe. Nothing happens.
She's going to move all the way inside, but she's not going to move down the hall.
Okay.
So she's completely in the other room on the ceiling.
Right. Nothing happens. The book slowly bobs up and down, partway down the hallway.
Pierre, please do us a favor and just take a look. Take a look around, please. And through him, I'll cast Detect Magic as a ritual, but I can do it without the actual extra time. So I'll have him cast Detect Magic, which is radiates 30 feet from himself. Yeah, from him.
There is a faint arcane signature radiating from the door. You think it's the door at first. It's just this side of the door. And as soon as I look up the spell, I will tell you what the heck it is.
The one at the end of the hallway?
Mm-hmm. At the far end. It is just a faint trace of abjuration magic. Feels like almost like a line, a thread drawn across in front of the door. About 3 feet off the ground.
But nothing seems amiss in the hallway itself.
Correct.
I guess I'll investigate again, just looking for any practical traps, but otherwise, as it seems safe to me, I do not know why these footsteps stop here.
Lunalia will crawl along the ceiling until she's right above where Pierre is.
All right. As you approach the door, Lunalia, you do see a disturbance in the dust in front of the door, as if feet that had left the ground at the far end of the tunnel suddenly landed here. There's a bit of a smooth spot where the dust has been disturbed.
Does it look like a scuffle or just that feet touch down here?
Feet touch down and somebody walked a couple of paces or shuffled a couple of paces. You know, the dust isn't really thick enough to see individual footprints. It's more just a disturbance, more just, you know, the lack of dust in this one spot, and sort of in a rough line towards the door. Having a closer look at the door, it is a wooden door. The wood is old, splintering, rotting in places. There is wrought iron reinforcement around it, rusted iron hinges, a simple handle. Doesn't appear to have a lock.
Man, I wish I could communicate as a spider.
Write a message using your web, Charlotte.
That takes too long.
Uh-huh.
She's gonna go all the way back along the ceiling and back into the other room where everyone is, and she'll write it in the dust. Closed door. No footsteps until before door.
That's an awful lot to write in the dust.
She's got many legs.
She starts scratching something into the dust with a long spindly leg. I don't know. Somebody make an intelligence check to try and make out what she's doing. Yeah, there we go. You look up and see Louis nodding as you sort of spell it out.
She's just gonna reach out and pat him on the leg, like, thank God.
So, what I can deduce from this situation, it seems as though a friend, apparemment, has teleported himself 30 feet towards the door, but I cannot deduce why. I do not see any traps. I do not see any magic. It does seem as though there's some sort of world of some sort on the door, but I do not know. What do you guys think?
How
So
far
you
away
think
is the
it's
door
safe?
again?
30 feet.
Okay.
There's only one way to go.
Yep.
What kind of magic is on the door? Abjuration?
Oui. It is this protective magic or warding magic of some sort.
On the door, or that was just in front of us?
Oui, on the door. I do
In-
not see anything.
It's in the space
hole.
just in front of the door, about 3 feet off the ground, almost like a tripwire, or perhaps the thread from an alarm spell. Exactly like the thread from an alarm spell.
So here is what I think. Let me take a look at it, and I'm gonna head into the hallway and go up to detect magic lasts 10 minutes, so I have plenty of time. But I'll walk up to right near it and just take a look at it, and I can identify it as an alarm spell.
I just need a second to check something here. Okay. Louis walks down the hall. Nothing seems to happen. You get up close to where you detected the thread. And I guess you're casting it through Pierre, but you actually, like, you sense the result of the spell yourself, right? So you would be able to see that that sort of faint aura around where the spell has been cast. From what you can tell, it definitely seems to be something akin to an alarm spell. There's some sort of magical ward here that would trigger something or someone.
All right. Well, I am going to cast Dispel Magic on it then.
All right. And that dispels third level and below without roll, right?
Me.
We. As you cast the dispelling incantation, you see the invisible magical thread, really only revealed by the aura about it, just shimmer away.
And then, do I see anything else on the door itself with any kind of magical presence or radiance at all?
No. The door seems to be perfectly mundane, and on closer inspection, you see what Linalia did. It's rotting wood reinforced with iron. There is a simple handle on it, just a wrought iron sort of curved loop handle. There is no lock.
Lunalia will move down the hallway with Louis.
Along the ceiling, on the wall?
On the ceiling.
Okay. What about Scribble and Rogar?
Yeah, I'll just follow. It seems like he's got it.
Yeah, I'll follow.
D'accord, it is safe. Let's go.
Scribble and Rogar, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw. As the floor of this space suddenly shifts and stone drops away.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Look at that.
And
Hang on. I've
we
got a
go.
plus next to mine, and I think I need to...
Yeah, I think you got a thing, right?
There we go, I got rid of it.
not terrible.
Not terrible, but not quite enough. Scribble, as the floor, the stone underneath you shifts and falls away, you dive and tumble, rolling to a stop just behind your other companions who are standing at the door, clear of danger. Rogar, the ground beneath you gives way, and you dive, but just miss the edge and fall. "30 feet into a pit, taking 6 points of bludgeoning damage. And Leprone.
Okay.
As the middle of the hallway gives way, the floor falls out. The rest of you turn around and see Rogar for a brief second diving, and it looks like he's going to make it. His clawed hand just gets a bit of stone and then slips off of it, and he disappears out of sight. You hear a whump as he hits the ground below, with stone raining down about him. The hallway quickly fills with dust from the collapse.
Oh la la. Rogar, what are you doing?
Rogar, you find yourself in a 30-foot deep pit. Nothing really in it other than you and the remains of the stone floor that fell out from under you.
Mm-hmm. Do the walls look scalable?
The walls are smooth stone.
Awesome.
You could try, but it would not be easy.
That's fine. I have a climbing kit.
Yeah, anybody with rope and some strength could help him out.
Can the two of us plus a spider lift him up?
Yeah, can the two of you plus a spider lift 167 pounds?
That's
Oh,
all.
wait, sorry.
It's
Louis is very strong.
I'll throw down some rope, rolling my eyes and clucking condescendingly at Rogar, his follies.
Yeah, I think
Come on.
Rogar's 310, and
Yeah.
and
I just looked, it's a lot more.
probably I'm gonna guess. I mean, we don't really deal with encumbrance very much, but I'm gonna guess
It's
between
167 is my weight carried,
good
plus
Lord.
my 310 that I am.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I
so
mean, isn't Louis like a strength of 18?
19.
Yeah, 19.
Yeah.
I mean, my strength is only 12, but it's only 12 when I'm just in my normal form.
Let's see. You can push, drag, or lift a weight in pounds up to twice your carrying capacity or 30 times your strength score. I don't think this is going to be a problem for him if his strength is 19 times 30, 570 pounds.
No
it's
problem.
not going to be easy, but you've got him.
Oh,
He's 100 pounds under what
570?
you're about 100 pounds under what he can.
Yeah, but if us two are also helping, the best that we can.
mm-hmm.
Just
What-
like hand over hand, pretty easily, just
Yeah.
pulling him up. Rogar's just dangling.
I imagine Lunali is like in spider form, hanging on to Louis, sort of trying to anchor him to the ground and wall.
Hmm. Yeah,
Scribble,
she's got 4 legs on him, 4 legs on the wall.
Scribble, are you helping or are you just watching?
I'm gonna try to help. As much as an 8 strength can help.
Tug on the rope once.
Yeah, you realize pretty quickly that it is the gnome is doing the lion's share of work here. Is his they're plate gauntlets, right?
I don't know that it actually specifies.
Well, you tell
Just
me
that
what
they're gauntlets, but-
tell us what they would see on Louis' hands. I mean, I imagine they look somewhat out of place, with the rest of your attire, but
What kind of a transmog is that?
Yeah, absolutely. They're like plate gauntlets, with like some beautiful detail, ornately inscribed on the bottoms of them, and then across the knuckles.
yeah. So the clack of these plate gauntlets is audible in this quiet space as Louis hand over hand hauls Rogar up. Rogar, to your surprise, the rope lowered to you begins to lift you, fairly quickly, and helping by sort of digging your feet into the wall and doing your best to climb out. You make it out in no time. To find the small gnome, hauling rope at the top. There is about a 10-foot sort of lip on this side of the pit trap. The trap itself is about 10 feet across, and there's 10 foot of hallway on the far side.
All right.
Right, no fat butts in this hallway.
I think I think this fat butt might have triggered the only pitfall trap here, so we should be fine.
Scribble, as you get close to the door, now that the commotion is over, there is a feeling in the air about this door, perhaps radiating from beyond it. The air in here is a little stale. It's a little warm. But you feel almost a breeze, just a cool radiance from beyond the door. It's refreshing. Like a cool wind on a hot day.
I'm gonna assume that the pit trap and Rogar falling into it made a fair amount of noise.
Oh, yeah. And you know what, Linalia, with your passive perception, I'll just have a glance at everybody else's here. Yeah. With your passive perception, you begin to notice the air around Scribble is... oops, somebody just left the channel.
He's restarting Discord.
Ah. I can wait. Hello?
Are you good now?
I heard like 30 seconds of talk, just like all at once.
Holy shit.
Whoa. You caught the pit trap is 10 feet across and the width of the hallway?
Yes, I heard that, and then it was something about cold wind and a whole bunch of other stuff, just all at once.
Yeah. So the air in here is a little stale and a little warm. It's a little bit of oppressive, and you don't really notice it so much until you feel this cool radiance pouring at you from beyond the door, almost passing through the door and bathing you in a refreshing cold. Linalia, with your passive perception, you would notice that the air around Scribble has darkened visibly, and there are tendrils of dark smoke that sort of swirl slowly around him.
Is it coming from the door or is it coming from him?
It's coming from him. It's almost pouring off of him like a fast-moving fog that sort of swirls and dissipates quickly as it radiates off of him.
She's gonna drop her spider form and say, Scribble, what's happening?
There seems to be a cold breeze coming through this door.
What's happening with you? You're covered in swirly black tendril smoke.
I feel that.
Other than the sort of comforting cold, not really. Linalia, you'd swear that his appearance is a little more gaunt. You know, he's not a thick creature by any means, but you'd swear he's a little thinner looking, a little less lively, I might say, than before. There's just
And he's still sort of covered in that misty black.
Yeah, it's not thick, but it's
Right.
it's definitely visible.
It wasn't just a momentary thing, is what I'm saying.
No, it's something that's started. You really didn't notice it at first until you looked at him for a minute, and then you, almost like your eyes adjusting to it, you saw it, and now you can't unsee it.
She's gonna point it out to the others. Louis, have you seen something like this before?
Lou, you see it as well. It's very faint, but it's it takes you a while to notice it, and once you do, it's evident, and it remains.
Je ne sais pas. I do not know. But Scribble, you feel alright? Do you need some water? Or are you okay?
I'm fine.
Okay, well, maybe you just need to get some more sleep. Yeah, if you are fine. Shall we the door?
Can I put my ear up to it and listen? Do I hear anything on the other side?
You certainly can. Make a perception check.
Ooh.
Ooh. Natty 1.
Nope. I don't hear nothing, guys.
Quiet. Too quiet.
She's just going to say quietly at the door, Paramon, are you on the other side? Cornelius?
Nothing.
Louis, you didn't sense anything coming from the door? No traps, no wards, no hijinks?
There's nothing magical. But let me see if there are any traps or anything. I do not know. Do I see with a 20 investigation?
The door appears to be mundane, but as you investigate it, you do, passing your hands over it, tracing the crack around the edge of the door. You touch the hinges to there is an unnatural coldness from it. It seems to pull the warmth from your hands. Not uncomfortable, but noticeable.
But also not magical, right? Nothing is.
Nothing magical.
Like
No,
magic is still
yeah, definitely nothing magical.
Does it feel like the bottom of the well did when it still had the skull inside it?
A little.
Does it smack of undeath to Lunalia?
It's a little cooler than it should be.
Okay. She's just gonna. There's a handle on the door, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yep, just a very simple wrought iron handle.
Yeah, she'll just tug the handle and pull the door open.
Okay. Door opens to a hallway, similar to the one that you're in, but 10 feet past, and it opens up into a large, dark space. Within this space, you see columns down both sides of a long hall that disappears out of sight into darkness. And as you look into this hallway, you see torchlight flare up from the sconces on the pillars. You count 1, 2, 3, 4 torches down each side on pillars spaced 30 feet apart from each other, down either side of a long hall that extends ahead of you. Far off in the distance, you see the silhouette of a man sitting on steps. Darkness beyond him.
How far away is he?
You hear hushed voices. Let's measure it. About 120 feet.
So would I be able to see better? Because that's as far as my dark vision is.
There are torches that have just flared up as you've opened the door. They're flickering with a dim light. there is darkness behind these pillars, but down the middle of this hall, you can see well enough in this dim light.
Okay.
And maybe I will move you to the map.
You said we hear voices, but we only see
One figure.
person, one figure, one thing.
Yeah, so you see a robed man with at this distance it's a little hard to tell, but messy wild hair and an unkempt beard. The space that you're looking at here, where you see the shaded area in the middle, those are a step down and then another step down to a sort of a depressed area that sits about 4 feet or so below the rest of the space. And he's sitting at the foot of a sort of raised area at the far end, sitting on the steps and speaking quietly. You hear, at this distance, it's too hard to make out the words.
How many voices do we hear?
Just his, and then there's a pause, and you hear another voice. Again, not really loud enough to tell what it's saying, but as the torchlight flares, we have guests. My friend, your friends have arrived. Welcome! Welcome! And behind the man, you see, in the darkened space beyond, an eye appear, softly glowing in the darkness. It hovers about 8 feet off the ground and moves in a hypnotic pattern. A second one opens to its right. A second later, a third one opens, glowing a slightly different color, this one green. A fourth one opens, a sickly yellow. The pale light cast from these glowing eyes and from the meager torchlight a distance away lights a tear in the darkness that opens wider and wider as yellowish white teeth appear behind a broad grin. Finally, a large eye opens above it, and you see, in the dim light, these 5 eyes, 4 small ones, waving slowly, hypnotically around a fifth. A huge, toothed smile cracked open beneath it, and I will drop a image in the chat as you see this. Its grin tears open, revealing darkness and a long, waving pink tongue as it speaks again. Hello! Welcome! Welcome to my humble home. Your friend here said you'd be along. Come, sit. Let us have a talk.
Image chat?
Sorry, say again?
Where's? Oh, in the chat, I see.
Yeah, in the chat.
Bonjour. Oh mon Dieu, that I've never. Do you guys know anything about? What is this? What's going on?
Lunalia's just gonna shake her head. No. But I don't think it's good.
So, what are you guys doing?
Lunalia's just gonna step just a little bit inside the room and to the left.
All right. Rogar?
just go there.
She's just gonna say, Paramon, we've been looking for you. Glad to see you're all right.
The robed, shaggy-haired man sort of turns from where he's sitting, and looks your way. Who's there? Who? Come closer. I can't hear you so well.
You come this way, Paramon. Step into the light.
Paramon. I don't know that name. You called me that before. That is not my name.
Do you have Cornelius with you?
Why, yes. I never leave anywhere without him. He's in my pocket, right? Cornelius, where have you gone? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. And he gets up and starts looking around, hunched over. He kneels down once and then twice, feeling around on the ground. Cornelius, where have you gone? He starts to sort of totter off this way as the floating ball of eyes slowly drifts towards you, swaying left and right in the air. Come closer, so I may have a look at you. It's been so long since anyone's come to speak with me. I do so love guests, so long as you don't touch anything or take anything. I would love to entertain your company. Come closer.
Lunalia's gonna move a bit closer. She's looking out for a little mouse.
Rogar
Mm-hmm.
and Louis, Rogar, do you have weapons drawn, or
Just my shield, no weapon yet.
just your shield? Okay.
Yeah.
I need you both, Rogar and Louis, to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh mon dieu.
Oh dear. That's not bad.
Nice.
That's
Not nice.
Ooh.
that's not as
Right.
good.
So,
Rogar-
beginning to learn that don't stand next to Rogar.
Rogar, something suddenly clouds your mind. You begin to hear whispers creep into the corners of your mind. Something grabs. You feel almost like a fist wrap around your brain from within and jerk suddenly. And without even thinking, you strike out against Louis.
Oh,
Now, you don't have a weapon drawn, so I need you to smack him with your shield.
unarmed strike, or
Could be an unarmed strike, or could just be your shield reaction, or your shield knockback.
probably shield knockback.
Okay.
So that's athletics.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Of course.
Oof.
Nice roll.
I'm so sorry.
We'll have to check the guild for anybody else that wants to play D&D.
Well, this doesn't do any damage, right? It just knocks him back.
Yeah, it just knocks him back 5 feet or knocks him prone.
Yeah. Louis, you want to make an athletics check against that, or do you think you would be so surprised it would just knock you away?
Oh, I would not be. I would be solely focused on what is happening in front of us.
Without even realizing it, suddenly Rogar's shield slams into you and knocks you into the pillar over here. As you sort of bounce off the pillar, you manage to keep your feet about you, but you look back and Rogar's clutching his head with one hand. The shield sort of returning to a slack position at his side as something seems to have clouded his mind. You felt something briefly as well, but were able to shake it off right before the shield hit you. And Lunalia, you notice something in the darkness behind the columns slip out of sight. Scribble, in your mind, you hear strange whispers swirling around in your head. They coalesce into a single voice. Child of Shadow, what secrets have you brought to this place? And the voice sort of tapers off into whispers again. The creature at the head of the room begins to float a little closer. Come, let me see you. Closer. Let's be friends. Like this one here is with me. He doesn't ever want to leave. You see the old man feeling around on the floor for the mouse again. He kind of moves over by the pillar here. What are you all doing?
I'm assuming that we're all aware now that Rogar has just shield slammed Louis across the room.
Yeah, you see Rogar bash Louis into the column and grab his head.
We see Rogar grab his
grab Louis.
own
Grab
head.
Rogar's.
Not mine.
Rogar grabs his own head, like
Okay.
starts shaking his head, like there's something in it.
Can you give me Pierre?
I certainly can.
And I'm gonna do a radius of his light spell.
Yeah, put him wherever you want him.
Why do I always get rid of the spells I need the day before I need them? How high is the ceiling in here?
The ceiling, the columns rise up and out of sight.
Ooh.
Yeah, Scribble would likely be able to see the ceiling. It's, high vaulted ceiling, about 70 or 80 feet up. It's a big place.
That is Paramount, the guy, like, over by the pillar.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
What am I looking at here,
RF? Sorry, so he has a light spell on it, so the 20-foot radius around Pierre that you can see what it looks like, not everybody can see, is bright light, and then dim light in another 20 feet behind it.
Got it. Let's see if I can make that visible to everybody.
We've had that before, haven't we?
There you go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Blinded by the light.
Well, that's weird. It just. Did you change the colors on it?
Yeah, I should try to be a little bit less
It
distracting.
looks a little less like piss. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Rogar, what the fuck, man? What is going on? Why you push me, my friend? I'll step away a little closer to Pierre, kind of like looking back at him, but then trying to. I do not like what is happening here. What do we
Something
do?
feels very wrong. She is now actively searching for Cornelius.
Oh, I'm very sorry. Psychic damage. Rogar, you also. You also take 10 points of psychic damage. I can't click the button without you guys knowing what it is, so I'm just rolling it manually.
Very sorry, I forgot about your damage.
Yeah, I forget about the extra. Fuck you.
Uh-oh, is there battle music playing now?
Yes.
Maybe it's real quiet in the background. I mean, we're not rolling initiative yet, unless you want to attack something. But
No, Lunalia's moved between the closest two pillars. She's looking for Cornelius.
okay. The creature drifts ever closer.
We really shouldn't stay too much longer.
Scribble in your head, you hear, "Don't mind the creature. Approach. Bring me what secrets you have to share." And you see, no one else sees this, but you see a pale, sickly, purplish blue light flare from the pedestal at the far end of the room and then die out. I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. That's good. That's good. You manage to resist the urge to approach, but you feel something urging you to, beyond just the words. Your feet almost move on their own before you shake it off.
But is the pedestal there like lifted or?
Slightly. It is a 3-foot high sort of raised platform with from your vantage point it's hard to see much more than that, but there was like a ring of light that flared out of it, purplish blue, and then died out. Above the pedestal, in the wall behind it, that flare of light and the flicker of torchlight as well, lit and is still somewhat lighting a shape that you hadn't seen before. There is a massive carving in the wall, a large figure that sort of towers over this platform, leaning over it, watching over it, a hooded figure.
But it appears to just be a carving, not an actual person.
Correct.
I'm not sure what to do, but I do not like what is happening right now. Pierre, let's buy us some time. And Pierre kind of like floats up a little bit, and his pages ruffle. And I point to one, and then point off to this floating eyeball thing that I've read much about in Louis' research history, and he needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Nice.
Or be polymorphed.
Cool.
Nice.
I am going to have you guys go ahead and roll initiative.
Don't forget to click your token first.
Nice.
One of the biggest offenders.
One, 2, 3, 4. How the hell does he get... Wow. Not even fair. And I think for the purposes of this surprise round, we'll start with Louis. And really only Louis gets the turn. The wisdom saving throw for the spectator. What's your DC?
DC is 16. So he turns into a frog.
He turns into a frog and falls to the ground. It's less than 10 feet. He doesn't take any damage from it. The rest of you see this, and this little thing falls. You hear a wet slap as it hits the ground.
Good thinking, Louis. Lunalia is going to start moving towards... Oh, no, she's not, because we're in initiative order.
Yeah, so after after Louis, I'll say, since this is a surprise round, let's just start from the top. You hear the old man, oh dear! And he just sort of runs out of sight behind the pillar. Rogar.
Do I have free movement of will, or am I still under whatever?
You
compelled
do.
me the first time?
The fog in your mind clears as the pain subsides, and your actions are your own again.
I'm gonna move behind that pillar and look down this side path to see if there's anything hidden down here that might have compelled me.
Okay, make a perception check. Ooh, that is just high enough. In the darkness behind the columns, you see a shape. You miss it at first, but you see it more as your eyes adjust to the darkness. You see it silhouetted by a reflection of torchlight off the wall behind it. And as you do, it flickers out of sight, but you definitely made out a vaguely humanoid shape of twisting shadow that looks a little like this.
Uh-huh.
Ew.
It's probably a good thing Rogar didn't come down here.
So you
I
really
mean,
only see
Nora.
you see the silhouette of that, and you know, as is implied by its image, it's sort of slowly, you know, swirling in place. It seems to see you, and it disappears, moving sort of behind into the column. You're not entirely
Which
sure.
column?
This one here.
Got it.
Time to pull a sledge fist.
Anything else, or is that it for you this turn?
That's it for me this turn.
On the spectator's turn, it hops around. Give me a sec. I'm gonna see if I can pull up the stats for Frog. I'm pretty sure it's 1 hit point. It's probably got a movement of 10 feet, 20 feet. There we go. Speed of 20 feet, 1 hit point. Fantastic. Oh, it can jump up to 10 feet horizontal and 5 feet vertical. So there you go. There we go. It's gonna move back to here. Lunalia.
She's going to move her full movement, which is 30 feet. So there. And then she's going to move as her action as well. To get within 10 feet of Paramon.
All right. He looks up at you, the surprised look on his gaunt face. He looks like he hasn't perhaps eaten in a while.
Let's just look at him. Let's get you out of here, shall we?
I remember you. Have you seen my mouse?
We will find him on the way. No worries.
Monsieur Lamour. I labeled the creature for you there.
Excellent. So I have not seen, even in the bright light cast by Pierre, I didn't see that shadow thing, right?
Correct.
But do I have any idea that there is something else that's happening there?
Not unless Rogar shouted something out.
No, not yet.
Okay, then I would move towards Perpemont. And Pierre would move with me. I think I can move him as bonus. Yes. So he'll move to there. And then I will just ready an action of a cantrip as a reaction if something else shows up that's hostile. I'm kind of keeping my eyes around. I don't know everything that's here, but I feel like there are things happening that I don't know about, but I don't know about them. So just being prepared.
Okay. Scribble.
So that thing's just like a little frog, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, would I know what happens if you like attack a polymorphed creature?
Without getting too meta, I imagine you would. You've seen the polymorph spell before, have you? Maybe not.
No one's casted in the party.
We just leveled up.
You could infer based on what you've seen with your druid friends. They take damage in their wild shapes, and when they take a certain amount of damage, they revert back to their humanoid form. If this works the same way, don't know, perhaps, or you can make an Arcana check if you think that's appropriate based on Scribble's exposure to the arcane. I'll let it be your call.
I rolled.
Yeah, you're pretty sure. You're pretty sure if you pew this thing, it will turn back into its original form.
And it'll have its full health whenever it... I don't remember like what happens when like you wild shape. You lose your form, but you go back to the health you had before you wild shaped.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but any damage you take in your wild shape form, if it spills over, it spills over. So if you're at 10 hit points and you wild shape into something with 30, and then you take 40 hit points, you take 30 to the wild shape, and then the 10 spills back over after you shift back.
Oh, okay. That's what I couldn't remember.
Please, somebody tell me if I'm wrong, but
No, that's right.
I'm pretty sure the damage carries over as it does in polymorph. So the frog's got a hit point. If you did 10 hit points of damage to it, you do 1 point of damage, knock it out of its form, and then 9 points of damage to its base hit points.
Okay, I'm just gonna move over here,
All right.
and I'm not gonna ready an action. I'm just gonna wait and see what's going on.
Right. I am gonna do this. On its turn. Oh, where did you go? This creature of this vaguely humanoid form floating about 3 feet off the ground of twisting shadows, roughly in the shape of a cloaked man, appears out of the column here and glides across the space. Louis, as it passes you, you feel an intense cold. You feel the heat being dragged out of your body almost forcefully. When it reaches, I think it's going to stop here, and then it's going to use its Howling Babble ability. A intense cacophony of whispers and babbling voices pours out of this creature, burrowing into your minds. I need you, let's see, 30 feet, so Scribble and Louis. And I'm pretty sure that's it.
I think I would have used my reaction to let go of the cantrip that I was holding at it.
Do it.
As soon as I saw it come out that was hostile.
Con save.
Although it is cold damage, so.
Ooh. It is immune to cold damage.
Okay.
Do I still need to make the con save?
So it fails. So the the spell hits it, but nothing happens, and I could tell that nothing would happen.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, the spell goes off, and you see the frost sort of appear around it and just slough off of it. Spattering on the ground and melting quickly. This thing lets loose this Howling Babble, and I need a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw from Louis and Scribble. And Rogar is just out of its range. Ooh, nice. Ooh, Scribble. That's 12 points of psychic damage, and you are stunned until the end of your next turn. Just looking for an appropriate... let's just use a brick wall. There we go. That is its turn. Scribble, as you're stunned, you hear this voice prying into your mind again. Approach, share your secrets, or I will rip them from you. Top of combat, the old druid. You're pretty sure it's Paramon. Lunalia, he just looks up at you. Help me find him, please. I cannot leave this place without him.
Of course,
he begins
of course.
looking around. He's going to make a perception check. He looks around. There's an exasperated look on his face. I don't know where he is. Rogar. You now fully see this creature of shadow writhing in midair.
Shit. Fuck. I don't know what to do.
Whack it.
I wouldn't be able to get close enough.
run back in the other room and throw an arrow at it.
Yeah, nobody's watching the hallway behind you guys. I mean, something could be happening there.
Fuck, I'm trying to get within 35 feet of it without getting... There we go. That'll work. I'll go there and shoot 2 shots of my longbow at it.
All right.
Uh-huh. That's with
natural
the
20s.
maneuver. That's with precision attack.
There we go.
Cool.
Okay. And that's actually the crit damage will throw the 6 away. It's actually the max dice. So it'd be 3 plus 8. For 11 plus 8 is, what is that, 19?
Yes. So it would be max dice for
Your
the longbow?
superiority.
So
Your superiority
that'd be
die
two
is
eights.
doubled as well, right?
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a good question. Yeah, sure, why not?
It's all dice. It's all dice that are rolled on something. So
Yeah,
like,
it's-
8,
It's,
16.
it's all dice, and
change-
I guess it's all dice regardless of what they are, as long as it's part of the attack, right? So the only time it's not is if it's something like a saving throw and additional damage, like there's poison on your blade that there's a save against additional damage for. So yeah, so that's
27.
thank you, 27. So as the arrow flies true, it passes through its form, tearing wisps of shadow, this shadowy fabric, away from it. It doesn't seem to do as much damage as you would have hoped. The damage is halved.
Second shot. Oh my god.
Son of a gun.
God damn. Well, I can't put another superiority die in, unfortunately, but...
Alright, so, and that did get max dice already, so that is 6 plus 8 or 14 points of damage. Again, halved. But it does seem to do something to it. There's just a terrible shriek out of the creature that you hear in your mind, as the 2 arrows fly through it, tearing bits of shadow from it. Any movement, or is that it for you? Bonus action? Run over and shield bash Louis again?
I will... No, I'm not low enough. That should be it.
Okay. Help me out here, RF. The polymorph, there is no repeated saves, right? It's just stuck that way for however long your spell or concentration lasts?
yeah, it's concentration up
Exactement.
to an hour.
Beautiful.
Exactement.
Well, it's going to 10, 15. Oop, hang on. Hoppity hoppity. And that's its turn. Lunalia.
Lunalia's going to move right up beside. Where's my move? Right beside Paramon, and she's going to take him by the hand and start tugging him back through the room. But we are looking for Cornelius along the way. She obviously needs him to be willing to come with her. So she's just going to say to him, I promise that we'll find him. But we can't stay in this room. It's not safe.
Make a persuasion check. And,
I am not good at those.
No, but, you know. One of these days. Louis, what are you doing on your upcoming turn?
But not today.
Oof. He just kind of pushes you away from him, slappy hands, and I must find him. He ran off.
Oh man. Louis will scurry away from this
Oh, I wasn't done.
thing.
you-
I'm sorry.
What you
That's
gonna
okay. She would have moved to him and taken his hand. I don't know if that's considered an action or not. But she'll move so that she can see this thing and still keep an eye on the frog.
do?
Would taking his hand have been my action?
No.
Okay, then she's gonna cast Moonbeam.
Cool. Let me go grab you a template. Moonbeam. This is a 2, 3, 4, and
Just gonna
We'll give
cast it
you-
at 3rd level.
that doesn't change the size, right?
It does not change the size.
Okay. You have control of it. Go ahead and put it where you want.
She's gonna put it right on top of him. I can't remember how to center it.
You just hold down Alt while you drag it, and then let go of the mouse.
Okay.
Yeah, you got
But
it.
she won't roll the damage because that won't happen until
He starts his
his
turn.
turn.
Right. Okay. Louis. This
Isn't it-
shimmering column of radiant light strikes down upon this creature.
Oh man, I say as I scurry away from it. Taking my full movement to get away, and then I will shoot out 3 magic missiles. At this thing.
Oof.
Oof is correct. So that's 6 points of damage total, right? I don't recall.
I
if you
did it
roll
at
per or-
second. I did it at second level. I always preferred rolling it per, but I think the native way to do it and the way you're supposed to do it is one roll for all of them. So it would be 8 damage then,
Oh,
as
right.
four bolts shoot out at this thing.
Force damage and sorry, just checking. Force damage on this creature is not a resistance. It has, so it takes the full 8 points of damage as these missiles whistle through the air and burst as they impact its form. Anything else?
No, c'est tout. Pierre
Just
will
gonna
move sectoral.
putting it in the initiative order with the roll. I rolled for it when it was hidden. Alrighty, Scribble.
So I don't do anything, and then I get unstunned.
Correct. And on the Allep's turn, it takes the damage. So, Lunelli, go ahead and roll your Moonbeam damage.
Okay. That's for the additional. Hang on.
I think it makes a con save, right? And then it's 2d10.
Ignore that first roll.
Okay,
3.
gotcha. So, yeah, con save throw, 2d10 radiant damage on a field save, half as much. Did you upcast it, or did you only cast it at second level?
No, I cast it at third.
Oh, okay. Got it. And the damage is included. I see that.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Here's the con save.
Nope.
No. So it takes the full 13 points. Nice. As it goes to move out of the radiant light, you can see that part of its shadowy, smoky form tears away from it. It moves up to Scribble, and Scribble reaches out with two dark ethereal hands. Trying to attack you with its maddening touch, but I'm pretty sure your AC is higher than 11.
It is.
You easily dodge out of the way. You feel that cold feeling now uncomfortable as it barely misses you. And it is... we're just going to make a... There he is! And he starts moving. 5, 10, 20, 25, 30...
Oh, Jesus, don't go that way.
And he's going to make another... And you see him dive behind the column, and you hear a squeak. And then a skitter. Rogar.
Gonna fire 2 shots again at the guy.
Uh, 12 just barely misses as the arrow passes through sort of its ethereal shoulder. It doesn't seem to tear any of the shadow away.
Right through the clavicle?
Yeah, right through the clavicle. And an 18 does hit, dealing 2 points of piercing damage. Unless
And
you're
it
going
will be
to...
with it. Yeah, it's going to be with another maneuver. It's going to be with goading attack.
That first maneuver you used didn't do anything other than extra damage, right?
It's just flat damage.
Cool.
So yeah, he has to make a wisdom saving throw.
Let's make a wisdom saving throw. That is his speciality, actually. 24.
Yep, he passes it.
But he does take the extra damage, so a total
Yes.
of 5 and 7 for 12 halved to 6. Almost knocked 6 off of Scribble's health. That'd be bad.
That's fine. I got plenty.
Sure you do. And there you go. Anything else, or is it Mr. Frog's turn?
Mr. Frog's turn.
All right. It's going to continue, and it disappears out of sight. Let's make a little stealth check for it there. Okay. Linalia.
Hearing Paramount say, there he is, she's going to run in that direction. And she is going to, I don't know, I guess have a look and see if she sees the mouse.
Make a perception check. You see the mouse dart out of the way behind the statue over here into the corner.
Yeah, so she's just going to say, Cornelius, we really have to go. It's no time for games. And then she's going to move her moonbeam. Oh. Yes, she's going to move her moonbeam. So that it doesn't hit Scribble.
Okay. Louis.
I think, Pierre, allons-y. Let's find this little foggy. And I'm gonna head off looking for it along with Pierre. Well, I'll move Pierre 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And then I would have like seen it go off towards the pillar, so I'm heading off that way.
Yeah, I just put his token in sort of his last known location before he made a stealth check. If you want to make a perception check to try and find him, you could certainly do that. Throw an AoE spell at him to find him too. Yeah, you actually do catch the frog. He rolled a 15 on his stealth check. He's just kind of down around the base of the pillar here.
I will use, if I can see him where he's at. I still have an action left. Can I use that action to continue to move and scoop him up?
Yeah.
Or would it take an action to actually pick him up?
You know what? You could, yes, it would take an action because he's not going to just let you pick him up. It's a contested, it's a grapple. It's a contested athletics check.
Okay.
Could use Mage
I
Hand.
see you.
Could use Mage Hand.
Oh my gosh, do I have Mage Hand? Wow. Yup, totally. Freaking
Nice.
just a little hand comes up, scoops down, and whoop, scoops him up.
Cool. Is that an action to cast, or is that a bonus action to cast?
So
or?
it's an like I have an action still, so it's an action to cast.
I don't recall if you can do something on the same turn that you cast it, or
I guess it's an action. It doesn't really say. It does say the hand can't attack. So if it would be an opposed roll, I think that would actually be an attack.
it's a fucking frog,
Right.
dude. I'll allow it.
It's a grapple check with a frog.
It's cool. I would totally allow it, and I'd let you do it as spell attack. So yeah, let's see. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object. Yeah, so you'd be casting it this turn, and then next turn you could reach the frog. You can move it up to 30 feet each time. Yeah, so as long as you can, as long as you see the frog, you can throw the hand at it next turn. Pop it out this turn, throw it next turn.
You know what? I'm gonna stand by on that, and I'll just look back over my shoulder and toss off another. Just kind of like as I'm running towards the frog, like, "Aha! I see you, monsieur." But then I'll kind of just like wave over my hand, and 3 more magic missiles fly out at the other thing for a total of 9 damage.
Total of 9 damage.
Looking confidently, like I don't think that this frog has anywhere to go. I will wait until my next turn to.
The missiles
scoop it.
tear into its shadowy form and pop, blowing shards of shadow out of it that dissipate into the air. It's coming apart. It is on the verge of dissipating, and it's starting to howl and scream. Scribble, the psychic pressure in your head is almost unbearable at this range. And it is your turn.
The pressure is unbearable in my head?
Yeah.
Like it's hurting me?
Well, like it's not comfortable.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm gonna hurt you on your turn.
Oh, I'm sure that you would love nothing better than to hurt me on my turn.
No, sorry, like I'm gonna hurt you on its turn. Sorry, on its turn.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
He'll hurt you on your turn too if you really want.
No, it doesn't.
that's fine.
It doesn't have legendary actions. But soon, you guys are getting high enough where we can start doing that sort of thing soon. These fights are too easy.
I'm gonna use my bonus action to summon my Shadow Blade. Oh, that's apparently damage, but I need an attack roll.
There we go.
Oh yeah, you made me this button. I'm guessing that was if I had advantage, so I think I missed.
Do you have advantage if you're in shadow?
Yeah. If I'm in darkness,
That-
I think it says.
That moonbeam pops out
Yeah.
bright light, right?
I would imagine it does, and I mean there's dim torchlight as well. So if you want to just
I guess it
re-roll it.
says dim light from moonbeam.
Oh, does it? Does the?
It says when you use the sword to attack a target that is in dim light or darkness, you make the attack roll with advantage.
It's dim light filling the cylinder.
Yeah, the cylinder itself is only is the only lit space. So, but it is dim light, or like you're standing in dim light right now.
Well, he's not within the cylinder. I cast it specifically so he wouldn't be in it.
I am saying he is also standing in dim light.
Oh, the bad guy, yes.
Scribble.
Torch dim light.
Because of the torches.
The torches, basically, like where you and Paramount are standing. That is darkness. I probably didn't make the light effect on the map bright enough.
So is dim light plus dim light bright light? If it's torchlight and the dim light from the moonbeam, or does it stay as dim light?
Yeah, it's just,
I don't know
it's,
how
it's
that
just dim
works.
light. But I'm just reading the spell text here. In addition, when you use the sword to attack a target that is in dim light or darkness. Yeah, okay, so dim light. So yes, it is with advantage, and a 15 does hit. And it's what, 16 points of psychic damage?
It would be the 21 because I cast at 3rd level.
Oh, gotcha. Let me have a quick look here.
Jesus, that's a lot.
It is not immune or resistant to psychic damage, which is interesting considering all of its damage that it does is psychic. As you plunge the blade into it, Scribble, how do you want to finish this thing off?
Just cut it in half, like from the shoulder down, like I've seen Hummer do.
From the balls up.
So those of you who can actually you all have at least somewhat of an vantage point of this. You see Scribble summon this shadow blade out of thin air. It almost looks like it's created from this creature itself. It looks very similar, and he passes it through the creature's ethereal form, and it just unmakes itself. It just shreds into scraps of wispy smoke that are burned up by the moonbeam. As it dies. And so, Rogar.
I mean, I guess I'll head over to Louis to, 1, apologize, and 2, to see what he's doing.
Ooh, natural 20. Paramount spots the mouse, but as he sort of missed grabbing him the first time and he gets up with half of his movement, he makes it as far as chasing the mouse, but doesn't actually make another dive for him. So Rugger, you're moving towards Louis, but you're not actually going to do anything this turn, right?
Right.
Okay. The frog is... let me just make a... Louis the Frog disappears out of sight. I'm just going to put his token at his last known location. Lunalia.
Lunalia's gonna cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
And speaking to Cornelius, who she knows is in the area, she's going to say, "It's not safe here. Come with us. We have to go."
You see the little mouse pop its head out from behind the statue here, and he scurries over to you and runs up your leg.
Excellent. She's going to move up to Paramon and say, "I've got him. Now let's get out of here."
Oh, good! Give him to me! And he starts reaching for the mouse. I need you to make a athletics check to resist his grappling grabby hands. I think his strength is -2. Beat a 6. Yeah, you easily bat his hands away as he tries to grab the mouse, which climbs underneath your cloak and hides.
Yeah, she's going to shout over to Louis. "We've got him and Paramon. Let's go. We'll drop the frog right before we leave."
Louis?
Un moment, s'il vous plaît. Viens ici, Monsieur Kuno. And I'll try to chase after this little fucking pillar humping frog.
He's using PvP tactics.
Make another perception check to find him. While I scroll up to find his stealth check.
Come on, Monsieur Grenouille.
God, where
We
where
must
the hell
go.
where was his stealth check? Oh yeah, 8. Yes. You come around the pillar and the frog is like climbing up the side of the pillar.
I'll grab him, shove him in my pocket, and
Okay.
start running back towards everybody else.
Just with your hand, or
Yeah.
make an athletics check.
Oh, Christ.
Dude,
Perfect.
You're just
throwing
gonna
bricks
take this
tonight,
out with
baby.
us?
Oh,
Oh,
Not
no.
so perfect.
The frog jumps. You get a hand around it, and it jumps out of your hand.
Well, I wouldn't. So if this is opposed, doesn't the aggressor? I don't
Do they?
know.
What happens on a
But,
tie? Yeah.
I thought.
Is it? So if you look at it like an attack, right? Like one person rolls to set the DC, and the other person rolls to
Yeah, I'm
To
looking
beat
it up.
attack, but to
I
meet
thought
it.
we've always had like the frog would escape there because 20 would have met it.
Yeah, if the nothing happens if tie results in status quo, player's handbook, page 174. If the contest results in a tie, the situation remains the same as it was before the contest. So if you're trying to break a grapple, and it's a tie, you don't break the grapple. If you were trying to initiate
Got
a
it.
grapple and it's a tie, you don't initiate. That's actually really, really fair. I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was the second roll always breaks the tie, but it does not, and that's good. Yeah, so grappler
You
loses the
don't
tie when making a
admit.
new grapple, but wins the tie when already grappled.
Louis, what's going on over there? What's the holdup?
I'm trying to get my frog.
There's
Oh,
no
no.
time for snacks.
The Frenchie wants frog legs.
He's over there trying to baby Yoda a frog.
C'est délicieux. Yeah, I guess I still have some movement left. Is there any? Do we know of anything else in here? like what am I seeing on my left? This altar or something? What is this?
A raised platform that Scribble saw light coming out of, I think.
Yeah, so now that you get a few seconds to have a glance around the room, you see this circular platform that's raised about 3 feet off the ground. That rises up 3 feet off the ground around it. On it, there is just a simple dark ring that, if you stare at it for any length of time, will softly pulse, sort of a purplish blue color. But your eyes are drawn to a statue carved, pretty much embedded in the brickwork in the wall behind it. Like, it doesn't. It's almost a relief, and not a three-dimensional statue. And as you look up and up and up, you see a tall, slender, robed figure carved in relief in the wall. A hood long over its face. You see just a smooth mask that sort of comes down to a point at the chin. And down the sides of this alcove are massive feathered wings that sort of wrap around this platform.
It's me.
You wish.
It reminds you just a tiny bit of Scribble.
I am interested in this place, and I'm chasing my frog, so I'm going to continue to move around. The frog is on the pillar right now.
Yeah, it actually just jumped out of your hand, so it's with a wet slap hit the ground again and is hopping away. You are faster than it, so you can try and grab it again if you'd like. And if anybody else wants to do anything that's relevant to the initiative order, you can. Otherwise, he's eventually going to catch this damn frog. It's got a movement speed of 20. You've got 25. You're just going to keep chasing it until you win.
A contest of champions here, obviously, but
but I feel like we need the rolls.
This place is interesting, but I also need my frog. So, I'm just going to keep chasing this until I catch it. But once that eventually happens, I would like to scope out whatever is on the walls and stuff here, too.
Lunalia would have headed over to help you catch a frog. Is this what we're reduced to, really? Chasing tiny animals in the dark?
All right, Louis, make another roll with advantage.
Let's see.
I'll stand here and block it. You throw your cloak over it.
Oh!
Hey.
Ugh, you got him. You manage to catch the frog with Lunelia's help. What do you do with him?
I hold him up by one by one leg and kind of shake my finger at him, and then I put him in my pocket and hold it closed.
That's awesome. Okay, you now have a pet frog for as long as your concentration holds.
For an hour.
Yeah.
Another 59 and a half minutes.
Yeah, you're gonna have some trouble here if you take some damage, though. That's okay. That's a problem for future us. I'm assuming the Moonbeam is expired, as is the Shadow Blade.
Yeah. If there was nothing else dangerous in the room, she would have dropped it.
Okay. The light spell on Pierre, that's not concentration, so that remains. And would you guys mind if we took a 5-minute break? As combat ends and you begin to investigate the room.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Sure.
See you back in 5.
What am I to do with this frog?
Rogar back?
Yeah, never left.
All right.
And we're back. So, wriggling frog in pocket, mouse under cloak on shoulder, hiding from the old druid / wizard. I won't bother moving the tokens around in this space anymore, unless something else happens. So for now, you could just use it as somewhat of a visual reference. Lunalia, the old man, finds his way over to you. May I have him back?
She's just gonna sort of open her cloak and say, Cornelius, is it okay? Do you want to stay here? Do you want to go with him? She's still got speak with animals up.
Okay, good. And remind me, that's how you spoke to him last time as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. The mouse speaks back to you, and you hear a voice kind of similar to the old man's, but higher pitched. Don't give me to him. I prefer to stay with you. He's not in his right mind. I'm not in my right mind.
Okay, I understand. I'm going to carry him until we're out of this place. He's a little frightened. She's saying this to Paramount. He's not quite sure what's going on. I assure you, I will keep him safe. We speak the same language, after all.
Well, I shan't let you out of my sight.
No, stay right with me.
Yes, is anyone injured? I could perhaps administer some healing. He holds knobby-knuckled, shaking old hands up. Who needs
Sure,
some
I'll
healing?
take some healing.
He walks over to you and... I don't actually have a character sheet for him yet.
And I take 3 points of damage.
No, it's give me a sec here. It's
Claps his hands together like Mr. Miyagi and starts rubbing them vigorously.
No, he can actually cast spells. There we go. And you are healed for 9 points of damage. As he places his hands on you, there's a soft green glow. You feel a little better.
Lunalia's gonna have some buggy eyes at him and do a couple of double takes between Rogar and the not druid.
He looks back at you. What?
No, nothing.
I told you. I'm the druid of this wood. I'm its defender and protector. And
Of course, I was never in doubt.
he just kind of shakes his hands. I am very tired. And he just kind of sits right down on the ground right next to Rogar. I took a lot out of me.
Uh-huh.
He just kind of gets quiet, and if you leave him there for a bit, he just rolls over on his side, and you hear snoring after a minute or so, just on the stone floor. Short rest.
Well, probably not a full short rest because that would give us an hour.
Yeah, we don't
so-
we don't have that much time.
No.
Put the
Hold
frog
on
in
to
his
a
pocket
friend.
and let's bail.
So,
Do we want to? Can we? I would like to take a look at this altar pedestal, whatever. Yeah, can I just investigate it to see if there's anything interesting or arcane about it, or deduce what its function was?
certainly.
is?
Are you going to use detect magic, or just
Your good old eyeballs.
No.
Investigation and or
Um,
Arcana.
How about investigation and/or arcana?
Sure.
While they're all doing that, since it all seems fairly magical, could I go over to the door and see if I could
Yeah, check on that hallway.
make it into a into a 10-foot wide thing to get across the hole?
Oh, like knock the door out of the frame and use it to span the gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try and have a look at it. Sure.
Okay.
The door
Linalia,
is
go ahead.
the door is not quite as tall as the gap is long, unfortunately.
Okay.
Linalia is going to be checking out the statues in these alcoves.
Okay. 10 feet also, most of you would probably be able to leap that with a decent athletics check, or, somebody could leap it and you could, fashion a rope across, and with some effort. Like, I'm not going to make you guys work very hard to get across a 10-foot pit trap.
Right. Rogar should be able to jump it, I would think.
Yeah.
Fairly easily.
Oh, yeah. I'm not entirely certain how, but with Louis' strength, he could as well. Which, again, I'm not entirely certain how.
With a cartwheel.
So 25 to investigate this.
Yeah, holy poop. This pedestal is, there is definitely some sort of magical enchantment affixed to it. There are complex runes and sigils traced all about it. As you investigate it, you can see that there is just a tiniest bit of a purplish blue glow emanating from the runes that are traced in it, as well as this just solid circular band that runs all the way around it. Scribble, I notice you've moved your token to standing in the middle of it. Do you actually, like, as he's checking it out, do you walk over and just walk right onto the platform, or?
Yeah, I wanted to walk onto the platform just to see, like, because you said I'm guessing the same thing where you're describing the purpley blue glow.
Mm-hmm. As Scribble sets foot on it, Louis, you see the runes flare to life. And Scribble, your vision goes to black for a few seconds. Just as you begin to panic, it comes back, but you're somewhere else. Someplace you've seen before. The sky is wrong. Roiling, swirling clouds of black and purple, blue. The colors are washed out and muted, but the sky looks angry and dynamic. The landscape around you, barren stone, impossibly tall spires of mountainous stone that rise around you. Deep shadows beneath twisted trees. Their branches bent in macabre fashion, making them look almost like twisted creatures stuck in motion as they shamble across the landscape. The shadows beneath them flicker and move. You feel eyes on you from all sides, but you don't see anything. This is maybe not the same place that you saw before in your vision of the Shadowfell, but it is unmistakably the same plane of existence, or the same land. You feel a presence all about you, something looming over you. And you feel and see at the same time something far away but very close, as this massive cloaked figure leans over you. Just a sliver of a white mask beneath its hood. The flutter of wings, massive around you. The rush of air. And a pull that you feel, almost like invisible hands that grab and move you. the landscape shifts. You see a tall, twisted tower. One of many, part of a large, dark castle. Its walls made of purple stone that shimmers in what dim light there is in this place. The landscape below it barren and twisted. People move about it. Figures you've seen before, wearing cloaks that flicker about them, cloaks made of shadow. Pale skin, slender features. And as your vision is drawn closer to them, you see gaunt faces, sagging skin. They almost look like shambling undead, but there is life in their eyes. Some of them bear tattoos of raven's feathers. Many of them wear outfits made of straps of leather, chains, cloaks feathered. There's a flash, and you're brought back to where you are. Louis, the runes die down around Scribble. And you can see now, even clearer, there is that swirl of shadow about him. The hint of which you saw earlier, it's now stronger.
Monsieur Oiseau, I can't help but notice maybe you are unraveling what's there is. What is going on? Do you know? Are you okay?
So, do I look normal to myself?
You look down at your hands, and you see what the others saw. Traces of shadowy tendrils that slowly rise from your flesh, your feathers, and dissipate in the air about you.
Is this what you saw earlier?
We also right now too.
I feel okay, but I feel like I was just in a place that I had seen before. Once before when we were in the graveyard in Vandalin.
Linelia, the mouse climbs out from underneath your hood and sits on your shoulder. And as its whiskers tickle your ear, you hear it speak. He is tied to this place. The veil between light and shadow thins here. With the right words, one could slip through from one side to the other, from light to dark.
Oh. We'd better be careful what we say then. Scribble, maybe you want to step away from there. I've been informed that the veil between light and dark is thin here. We wouldn't want you to slip to the other side.
As she says that, you can almost feel invisible hands on your shoulders pulling you in a sort of directionless way. Like you're not really sure which way, but just to somewhere else.
I think that may be a good idea.
Yeah.
Should we see if we can maybe destroy this thing or dispel? Peut-être? Maybe, I do not know.
I mean,
Is this
I would leave it alone for now.
I would maybe just not touch it.
Louis, make an Arcana check.
There we go. I was rolling really well for a while.
Yeah, you're not entirely certain, but something you read about this type of beholder, this the creature that now sits snugly in your pocket, struggling to get free. Um, you remember something about them being guardians of secrets or guardians of treasures. You get the feeling that it was brought here or placed here to guard this place. This is a place of significance to someone, or at least was in times past.
Could I deduce, or do I think that it was guarding this from the rest of the world, or the rest of the world from this?
It's hard to say because its words were so twisted by madness. It seemed to want to welcome you into its home, which is not entirely something that a guardian would, of an object, a treasured object, would do, but it's hard to say.
Do I know anything about these statues that I've been looking at?
The DM placed them on the map for flavor.
So they don't bear any likeness to like a deity that we would recognize or anything.
No, they don't appear to be statues of gods. Most of them are. They appear to be armored warriors of some sort.
Oh, they're just like decorative then.
Yeah, they're decorative. Perhaps figures of note to someone, but there's no plaques on them or anything indicating who they are.
And the big winged figure on the wall. Does Lunalia have any idea what that is?
Could make a religion check. Somebody, anybody, everybody.
Religion?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, Louis being,
Nice.
Louis being a very learned individual, Lunalia having, likely learned some about, the Elven pantheon, and Scribble being a godless, uneducated fuck. Between Lunalia and Louis, you both would determine this to be a likeness of the Raven Queen, a mysterious and enigmatic god or demigod of sorts who dwells in a plane of shadow.
Maybe now it makes sense. Perhaps we're on her front porch, and we should make our way out of here.
That makes sense. I do not think we want to mess with this too much.
I don't know really anything about the Raven Queen other than just the basics, but I'm sure that Dralamar has temples to her.
I've been told she created me.
Oh. You specifically, or your people?
Didn't the spider hint at that too?
He did, I think, yeah, because you and he shared a similar sort of cloak of shadow, a similar affinity.
C'est très interessante, but maybe for now we go. So, what should we do with this little frog?
I think maybe we leave him here. If he's here to guard something, I don't think he'll follow us. I think his task is to guard. And should we need to come back, well, we'd be prepared then.
It would probably not be too difficult for us to, all blow him up at once, and just, get a nice, good opening on him, and probably take him down in a round or two.
It's
If we
true.
wanted, or we could leave him to guard here. I do
I
not know.
I think we'd be better off leaving him to continue guarding whatever is here. Especially now that these ruins have sort of been opened up. We didn't even know this existed down here.
Do we think that he could fit through that? There's like a 3 foot by 4 foot hole to get down to here in the first place, right? Do we think that he could fit down there at all, or fit through that if you want to get out into the world?
Yeah, he's a medium-sized creature, and I'm gonna guess that he really wouldn't take up any more space than any one of you guys. Yeah, he could probably squeeze through.
Did we pass any other entrances or exits, or was this all like pretty much just a one-way trip to get to here?
Well, there was that spiral staircase.
Yeah, but yeah, there were no like side hallways or doors or anything leading to anywhere else. It's not like it's a complex. And there really is just the one door to this chamber. It's a straight shot out otherwise. And the door wasn't locked.
So yeah, I mean, we could just leave him in here, and we could just block up the entrance again.
Yeah.
Scribbler, what say you?
I don't think someone wants to accidentally take a portal to where I went to. So, Pugger, how did I get back? Like, was there another portal there that I was on, or I just magically found myself back?
You didn't go anywhere.
Oh, okay.
The
Like,
others
so
did-
my body was there the whole time for them to see?
Yeah, you basically you had some sort of vision of
Oh,
this
okay. I
place.
thought I actually went somewhere.
No, the others, like Louis would have seen you step onto the platform, the runes flared to life, and a few seconds later you just turned around and started interacting with them again. Your vision of the place would have lasted to you a few minutes. Almost as if this winged, robed figure was showing you around.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't see much of value down here that someone would come look for. I think we could leave him here. If he escapes, he might find a deer or the local goblins.
Or maybe a dragon.
Oh, oui, maybe. Okay. Everyone agree? We leave this little froggy here?
I think so.
But if we're gonna leave it here, we should give him a name. What should we call your froggy friend?
He is Jacques.
Jacques? Oh,
Jacques.
I like that name.
Oui. Froggy Jacques.
Grenouille.
Oui. Oui. C'est très mignon, non?
Did you say filet mignon?
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
I could go for a steak. All right. So, are you're just gonna leave the frog in the chamber here and maintain concentration on the spell until you get a distance away?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep concentration on the spell. I think I can just keep it, even if I'm not in range. I think I can keep it.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the way polymorph works.
Last for the
You kept
duration or until it
concentration
drops
on
to
the dragon.
0.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Yeah. No, you don't have to.
Oh,
Sorry, you don't have to
wow.
remain in range or anything. You just need to, retain the concentration on the spell. So, for the sake of brevity, you leave your newly formed friend Jacques here. Gather up Paramon, who is more than happy to, once he wakes up, follow Linalia, who, as he sees it, holds his mouse hostage. He's far too frail and out of spell slots to do anything about it, but he continues to pester you. to have
I'm
his
going
mouse
to
back.
link arms with him, like you do with an old man.
And he kind of, where are we going?
Oh, out of this, dark and dingy place.
Oh,
Back out into the light.
are you going to take me back to her?
Not at the moment.
To be honest, I prefer a break.
I can see why.
Fine enough company, but
She's a little intense.
she's clingy.
Ah. I hear nobody likes a clingy woman.
I don't mind from time to time, but a break would be nice. Where are we going then? Somewhere with good tea, I hope.
Yes. Somewhere with good food, and some friends that you maybe have not seen for quite some time.
Oh. He looks around. All my friends are here, except Xanthras. They wandered off into the woods after after the fine fellows here invited me in for a meal.
Yes, one of those fellows is waiting upstairs.
Oh. Well, they did tie me up and lock me up in the basement, so, do please keep him away from me.
Yes, of course.
As you make your way out, you find Noro, sword still in hand, standing guard, waiting. You see his massive frame sags a bit with relief, and he exhales long breath through his nose as he sees you guys come out of the dark hole in the ground. And he just nods, smiles, takes a sniff of his soap, and you look around and you see Madrick, just covered in dirt and gray dust. He's managed to find his sword. He's managed to he's got a small sack with a few things in it that jingles a bit.
Oh, you managed to find your sword, I see.
Yeah. You managed to find your old man.
Yes.
Well, you still owe me a fucking castle.
No, I believe we've paid that already.
Voila, here it is.
What you did with it after it left our hands was entirely up to you.
Really? You asked me to... Fuck.
Rogar's going to begin pushing the pillar back in front of that entrance.
There's a bit of a spooky guy down there we don't really want coming out.
Where are you off to now? Not sure I
Back to
wanna
town.
Sit here on a pile of stone waiting for a dragon to come back.
We're heading back to town. Well, you're welcome to come with us if you can behave.
Maybe. The fast way or the slow way?
slow, unfortunately.
Fuck. I'll see you back there. Maybe.
We do intend to keep our promise, Madrick.
And I hold you to it. You know I'll end up back there at some point. He looks up at the sky. Sooner as opposed to later. If things go the way I think they will. I'm gonna try and find... Well, Roger's out there somewhere in the woods. Or he's buggered off. I think the others are dead. I found an arm. Not sure whose it was.
Oh dear.
He kind of looks around. He's got a look on his face like he's not sure what to do next. Well, fuck off then.
Try and stay out of trouble, Madrick.
Huh.
We'll be in touch.
He just raises a hand and sort of waves you off. Goes back to digging.
Now let's get you home, sir.
Oh,
Well- If not home, at least someplace better than this.
Right. Might we rest soon? The nap I took was refreshing, but not quite enough. He looks up at you with watery old eyes, bloodshot, skin
What
hanging off his bones.
What time of day is it?
You guys came here fairly early in the day, didn't you? Like kind of first thing in the
First
morning.
thing, I
Yeah,
think.
it's in the morning.
I mean, it wouldn't be past noon.
Okay. Well, we probably shouldn't hang around here. There is a dragon or two.
Oh, yes. Yeah. I imagine she's probably all sorts of riled up over my disappearance.
How big is Paramon?
He, 6 foot tall, super thin. He's 6 foot tall and 150 pounds, maybe.
I guess he's too big for for Louis's wagon.
Yeah. I mean, unless you cast the reduce spell on him.
Right.
Or the enlarged spell on the wagon.
That's true. Then nobody can tow it.
Yeah.
Perhaps
So
Rogar
we
could
have
give you a ride for a bit.
Oh,
Louis, that spell you cast on that thing down there, does it work on people as well?
Of course.
But it only lasts an hour.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I'm trying to figure out a way of Rogar asking if you have a specific spell. And I can't really think of it. Do you have an illusion spell that can, change someone's appearance?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Please tell me what you were trying to accomplish.
Rogar's gonna pull you to the side. Away from Paramon, mainly. I don't think it would be a good idea for our newly acquired wizard friend to be seen walking away from here right now. If we can get our druid friend to turn into something, I don't know, like a horse or something, that we can somehow hide Paramon's appearance to be maybe a merchant or something riding atop horseback, it wouldn't be too uncommon for us to maybe be escorting them, at least a distance away from here, just as a precaution.
I mean, I can only shape change for an hour.
We unfortunately that specific spell is very powerful, and I cannot do any more of it today. However, I could, and I snap my fingers, and an illusionary paper bag appears over Paramon's head. Ta-da!
That'll work.
Magnifique.
I feel like we need to. I feel like we need to end on that high note tonight with our misfit party making their way out of the Wayriding Grove.
Oh, we'll put some eye holes in
A
it.
doddering old man with a paper bag, the illusion of a paper bag over his head.
Not a real paper bag.
Does
Not
the
a real
illusion
paper
work
bag.
both ways? Like, does Paramon think he has a paper bag over his head now?
That's-
Because that would be a great night mask.
No, it's a magic hat.
Well, it's it's an investigation check DC of your spell DC, right? To see through it? No, he sees through it.
Sure.
He knows it's he's able to determine it's an illusion, and he can see through it. Oh, clever. I would not have thought of that.
Rogar's gonna just
Monsieur, you are safe with us.
Clearly. And so far as a
Rogar's
paper
gonna
bag will
just-
protect me.
Rogar's just going to like pick up Paramon, like in both arms, and just carry him.
I should have
Nice.
piggybacked him.
No, I'll carry him. We can throw a cloak over him as well if we really want to.
I mean, you know, dragons can smell people, but that's okay. He is quite rank, by the way. He has the smell of a old man who's been living in the woods for longer than he should, and who also has spent a couple of days underground with nothing more than a corner to shit in.
Do we maybe want to, I don't know, clean him up a bit before we take him anywhere? Use some of Noro's soap on him?
We
Can I
should just
clean
get
him
back
up
to
with
where we're going.
prestidigitation?
You totally can.
Yeah, you know what? Feel free to, magic sponge bath the 75-year-old man.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a river nearby.
Prestidigitation would work.
Yeah, I left my magic sponge bath in my other pants. I'm so sorry.
It's also not just the dragon that I'm concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
So, other than the journey back, is there anything that you, as a party or individually, would like to accomplish before we end the session? It would. I don't think I want to go too much farther, but I also, I'll without guaranteeing it, I will guarantee that I'm not going to drag on the, Paramon's lost his mind and his brain is stuck in a mouse for too long. But I would kind of like to save that for next week. Are you guys okay with that? If we call it here and pick up next week? And if you are, do you want to maybe give me an idea of what you want to do when you get back to town?
Can I talk with Magic before we go, for just a minute?
Yeah. So as you guys are parting ways, you turn back and have a few words with him. What?
So you've got nothing to do with yourself now, huh?
Oh my god.
He looks down at the pile of rubble beneath him and around him. I have a shit ton of platinum in here somewhere, but gonna need some help. Or fuck it, I could just go steal more. Why?
Well, there is a guy who was leaving Phandalin about the time that we were heading back to Dralamar. Him and Sam.
Uh-huh.
He's the type of guy who would look down completely on someone like you, think that he's better than you, probably have quite a bit of coin on him.
And?
And if you would like to prevent his arrival in Dralamar, it might buy us some time helping to clear the way while we look for a way underneath the crypt to remove your curse.
He might also have some pants that fit you.
Didn't take you for the sword. Tell me, who are you helping out?
That she might have been a friend of yours while you were in Phandalin.
I didn't think she had the nerve. Suppose she's having you do her dirty work for her then. Huh.
She doesn't necessarily want it done.
Really? Alright then.
But it sounds like she may be in trouble if it's not.
Alright then. And what's in it for me?
Well, whatever's in the cart that he travels with. And a favor.
I don't need a favor. Fuck. No promises. Let's see what I can do.
Have fun.
If you see me back in Phandalin soon, you know I failed. I won't try it again.
He'll have your sword if you fail.
He pats the tarnished blade at his hip. No, he won't. This one's good enough. Best get going. Remember, castle. Next one you take is mine.
Of course.
Lonelia's gonna blow my kiss before we head out.
Fucking weird woman.
As we walk, I'm gonna plant like a tiny little illusion of a flag on the steps of the castle.
And any flag in particular, or
Put a little magic banner on it.
like a little picture of his face?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Anything for anyone else?
I can't remember if I let Louis look at my father's book.
Yeah, you know what? We talked about it, and I think I told RF that Louis would have access to some elemental magic.
Yeah, after
as a
getting to
result.
know Louis a bit more, she'd be willing to let him read it unsupervised.
Yeah, I think I need some time because I'd like to add a little bit of knowledge, just some lore. But I also need to dig up some spells because I'm sure RF will want Louis to perhaps. You can. It burns a spell scroll when you use it, when you inscribe it into your spell book, but you can copy from somebody else's spell book as well, can you not?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, if you found spells in this book, you could copy them without harming this book, I would imagine.
Hey, if Caleb can copy Essex spells,
Yeah.
Louis can copy them.
There you go.
Yeah, so it would just, it would be the cost of inscribing those spells in what, inks and material. So I will come up with a list, and you can pick and choose what you'd like, sir. But I need a week.
Sure. Yeah, take your time.
And that would just be something available to you in the downtime. to copy that stuff. But the reason I'm kind of holding off on it is there is maybe a bit of lore and backstory. You'd be kind of, I think you would be the first person to have seen this journal that is maybe intelligent, educated enough to understand some of it, and that might open some insights into Lunela's backstory. So I want to make sure that I get it right and not just be like, oh yeah, here's some spells, and that's it.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. And Lunaria, merci beaucoup for your trust in me to let me look through this.
I've seen the way you treat other books and research and knowledge. I know it's in good hands.
Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and end the session there with the party well on their way back to Phandalin. Next week we will pick up where we leave off and see about plugging a mouse brain back into a druid wizard. Thanks anybody and everybody watching from home for joining us.